Give the call to the honourable member for Lyne.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Environment and Water. Will the Minister commit to publicly releasing details of the proposed federal cultural heritage reforms prior to the referendum on the voice to Parliament?
Order. The Minister for Immigration will cease interjecting. I give the call to the Minister for the Environment and Water.
Thank you so much, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member for his question. He's asking a question about two completely unrelated things. He's asking a question about the referendum, and the referendum, of course, is very clear. It's about a constitutional amendment to recognise 65,000 years of history and culture in this country, and it's about listening. It's about recognition and it's about listening. Now, the cultural heritage reforms that were begun under the previous Environment Minister, the work that was commissioned under her, the funding contracts that were entered into under her, that work is ongoing. That work is ongoing. It is complex work, and in fact, I've been delighted that until now this work has been supported in a bipartisan way, not just by the former Environment Minister, the Deputy Leader of the Opposition, not just by the member for Leichhardt, as I have repeatedly said in the excellent work that he did with Senator Dodson on the Duke and Gorge inquiries, but also by your Shadow Minister for the Environment, who in the other place on the 28th of November last year said those events were so disastrous that they made it very clear that comprehensive work needed to begin as a matter of urgency on modernising Indigenous heritage protection laws in Australia. Comprehensive work. We are doing that comprehensive work in the way that was begun by the previous Minister for the Environment. And indeed, the member for Cowper has said, when responding to the Duke and Gorge reports, and I quote, "We are very pleased that the Minister has now made clear that she will be continuing the work that had already begun in this area during the years of the coalition government." And further, I quote, "We always considered that it was vital that this process be centred on the views and the experience of traditional owners." That's why we are engaging in this detailed way, this thoughtful way, with the First Nations Heritage Protection Alliance, the organisation contracted by the previous Minister for the Environment. Can I also say that Senator Dean Smith said
the Minister will pause, and I'll hear from the member for Lyne.
I'm just asking the answer to be relevant to the question.
So far the Minister has covered the issue of cultural heritage reforms and linking it to the referendum on the voice, so I don't know. I'm listening carefully to what she's saying. I'll make sure she remains relevant.
Yeah, the fact that you don't like the answer doesn't make it irrelevant. Senator Dean Smith, Mr Speaker, said in relation to the Duke inquiry in October last year, 18 months after the destruction of the Duke and Gorge, which we know to be of such tremendous heritage value to Indigenous people in my home state of Western Australia, people should ask themselves what has changed, supporting this work that we need to do on heritage